I'm going to go through 9 different ways that you can manage and improve your mental health as a probation officer. First thing is keeping active and eating well. Your diet and exercise, it is important. When you are in a kind of job where you are pouring your everything into looking after people, you need to make sure that you are running effectively as well. So if you find that your diet is slipping, so maybe it's one too many cakes in the office or one too many takeaways because you can't be bothered to cook, my best tip is plan ahead with your meals. Sounds really boring, sounds really basic, but plan like your lunches. Now that it's spring, summer, maybe you can have like some salads. Salads don't have to be boring. I used to love having like couscous salad with like chicken or other meats. Bulk cook at the weekends, so then you've actually got something that you can take into work to stop you keep getting takeaways. Same for the evening, like just have some stuff there. And I know it's like going into your freezer and it's like, oh, I don't even want that, but even if you cut that experience down to 1 to 2 a week, it may not be as much as what you're used to with takeaways. I don't know how often you have a takeaway, what's a lot for you. Track what you're eating. As with anything, track what you're eating and see if you can make changes. Add in fruit and vegetables a little bit more. You know, really obvious things, but sometimes the obvious things are the things that we're not actually doing. Keeping active as well, just slides when we're so busy with life, with work, is exercise. And you're probably thinking, well, how can I fit that into my busy life? Or maybe you was fitting it in when you was working from home and now that's on the back burner. My main tip to you is start small. I share this with all of my students that I work with. When I had a bit of a rut where I wasn't really doing exercise, I just started off with doing a warm-up video on YouTube, and then it kind of motivated me to want to do some more, and then other things. Join up with someone, so whether it's going to the gym with someone else or joining a group. So I personally go to a mum's exercise class twice a week, or once to twice a week, and then I join a running club, so I go there as well once a week. It does require dedication, but it's all about building in habits and starting off small. Next up, another popular one that you've probably heard is self-care. What does that actually mean? Because sometimes when you're in such a pattern experience, like hearing self-care as advice doesn't just cut it. Self-care is things like having time for yourself. So if you come home from work and you are then always serving other people, whether it's your children, your partner, husband, friends, family members, you just need to carve that time for you, whether that's time for you to have a bath, time for you to go to exercise class, or have a chat with your friend on the phone. Like, find something that you like doing. Maybe you've got a hobby, maybe you like to get creative with your hands, make things. Find something that's going to take your brain somewhere else. But the main thing is that you are actually carving out time for yourself every single day. Next up is boundaries. In your job as a probation officer, you are probably, without realising it, implementing boundaries. Boundaries for when working with your service users, boundaries when working with other staff, other professionals. But are you actually transferring this and doing this in your personal life? Think back to lockdown. It was very easy to assert boundaries and maintain distance from people because we had to. But now that life is back to normal, you might find like your social calendar is just off the scale. You've got weddings to go to, friends' birthdays, meeting up with friends, meeting up with that group of friends, meeting up with that family. Whatever it is in your life, there is probably an excess of stuff. If you've got an excess of stuff going on at work, an excess of stuff going on in your personal life, easier to feel that bubbling over and that overwhelm. So have a look at your life outside of work and think, what things are draining me and what things are actually bringing me that positive feeling, that positive energy, and that you come away from feeling good. And to help you with that is something I always say for people to come back to is get into journaling. So when you journal, you can just free journals that just get things off your mind, or you can use journal prompts. And it is okay to let certain people go from your life if you realise after doing this exercise that actually not really, you're feeling drained around them, you're not really feeling that energy, because you only got one life. Do you really want to waste it being around people that's just draining you? You get enough of that at work. Another one that I myself have been practicing lately is a bit more gratefulness. So this is about reflecting and taking stock of what things you are grateful for that you have in your life right now, because sometimes when our mental health is low, it can be hard to see a way forward. We're never going to get out of it. Write down don't focus only on material things like obviously having a house, somewhere to live, having safety, security, having your job. There's always going to be someone who would love to have your situation right now. Maybe there's someone who would love to have their own house. Maybe there's someone that's feeling lonely and would love to have a house share. Maybe there's someone that would love to have kids, would love to have a job because they're a graduate and they haven't got a job yet. So write down 10 things that you are grateful for. Do that every day at the end of your day, and it really does help you appreciate your current situation. And don't always do this when you're feeling good. Do these things, like I said, all the time. Like it's a habit, that it's a routine. So this is something new that I tried from January this year. So it is a jar, and it's me and my kids. I've got, what I do is write on a piece of paper an experience or something from the day or something from that week that I have felt grateful for, that I felt positive about or happy about. I'll write it on here, fold it up, and I'll put it in the jar. And at the end of the year, I'm going to go through the jar and actually see how positive the year has actually been. So why that is important is because it really does help that spiraling feeling that you need to solve all of your problems right here, right now, and it does help towards getting you out of that dark cloud moment. Learn that it's okay to make mistakes. Perfectionism is not going to help with your mental health. At work, as a probation officer, it's just the nature of the job and how the system is. You can never really do perfect work. You are never ever going to have the most perfect report, or work with someone who's completely turned their life around in 2 weeks after coming out of prison. So it's about managing your expectations, learning that there is no perfectionism and all you can do is you're good enough. So the next thing I want you to do to help you manage your mental health is actually process the day. So many times I would come home and offload it onto my partner. They don't need to be offloaded with that stress and have your emotional baggage. So find another outlet, whether that is counselling or journaling, but find somewhere to process the day, even if it's chatting with your colleague before you go home, so that you get all of that energy off of you, that you can actually enjoy your evening, not at work, not with that kind of surrounding of work energy, if you know what I mean. Next thing I want you to do is trust yourself. Trust yourself that this feeling is temporary. Trust yourself that you can get yourself out of that feeling. But it's about trusting yourself, trusting your abilities, because when we start doubting ourselves, thinking we're not good enough, it's only going to encourage that kind of spiraling, worrying. And the last one is take opportunities to grow. Don't be scared. Just because you worked all this time to become a probation officer, you've done your degree, you've done the training, you've maybe worked there a couple of years, maybe you've worked there a long time. It is okay to take new opportunities. It's okay to grow. Even if people around you are not doing that, even if people around you don't expect that of you, focus on yourself, your own learning and development, because the last thing that you want is to feel stuck, to feel like you have no choice, to feel like you have no escape, because that is not going to help with your mental health. I was in this position where I was feeling stuck and I was feeling guilty that I've done, all these years of training, this, that, the other, but I needed that time to reflect and think, what do I actually want? What is my purpose? What do I want out of life? What decisions am I going to start taking for myself to actually grow? What things do I like? I like to learn, I like to develop, I like to grow, and sometimes in probation you don't always get those opportunities, and you do have to go looking for things if you want to learn and grow. That might mean changing jobs, that might mean taking on different responsibilities, different roles, going to different training. But if you gravitate towards wanting to grow and develop, which I think as humans we do want to grow and develop, no one wants to stay stuck, then please don't worry what other people are doing, what other people are saying. No one would have expected that I would have quit probation, written a book, set up my own coaching and tutoring programs, and had a YouTube channel. Forget what people expect of you. If you want to learn and grow and develop in a certain direction, then you do you and you do that. Ultimately, what I am trying to get across in this video about caring for your mental health is, we spend so much time as probation officers, it's in our nature to want to help people solve their problems. You're probably very empathetic and people come to you with their problems, but when you are always the person to take on other people's energy, it can be very easy to not really care for yourself. And yes, you probably hear it all the time, but now is the time to actually take action on that and start looking after yourself, because you can't look after others if you yourself are raggedy and like on the floor with your mental health. So it also comes down to loving yourself and knowing that you are worth it to look after yourself, care for yourself. Because if you don't have that love for yourself, you are not going to take opportunities to try to change. If you don't really have that belief that you are worth it to stop, slow down and look after yourself, you're just going to continue and continue and continue. Your health, physical health is going to suffer, your mental health is going to suffer, you're going to feel drained, you're going to feel stuck, and you're going to feel resentful. So please take action. If you need help taking action, then go to Amazon, get a copy of my book, read it and take action, because in there I talk all about how to make changes in your life which will benefit your mental health, it will benefit your personal growth. So I hope this video has been useful for you. Please share it with other probation officers or other people that you know are in similar fields, so that they don't miss out on improving their life. I should add as well to that little piece, obviously I've been talking about mental health, maybe quite a sensitive topic for you. You can use the probation's counselling service if they still do it. So when I was there, it was phone counselling. And go to your GP. Maybe it is that you need medication as well. But take action, basically. That's what I'm saying on this video. Don't just passively watch it. If it is actually you're nodding your head to all of these things, then don't have shame in it. If you need to take off time sick, don't have shame in that.